What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another Bucks on Deck podcast episode. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different than what I've been doing over the last couple weeks. Some minor league top performers. Each week I kind of do a quick little farm report, farm update, give out the top performers from the previous week. So I figured, let's give this a shot doing it as a podcast episode. That's it. So we're officially in the halfway mark of the season. The The first half of the season ended for AAA and AA on Sunday. High A and Low A they wrapped things up on Thursday. Greensboro was the only one that was really playing for anything. They had a couple leads that they ended up blowing, and it ended up costing them a playoff spot. And I guess if that doesn't sound familiar, I'm not too sure what is. But they still have a chance. Everyone starts with a new, fresh record here in the second half, and if any of the affiliates are able to finish in first, they'll earn themselves a playoff spot. I believe Altoona won the second half title in the Eastern League last year, so they made the playoffs. Greensboro won the first half; they made the playoffs. I don't think Bradenton has made it since they won. I think they're calling it the Southeast Division, the Southeast League or Southeast Division or whatever. But like before we look too far ahead in the second half and stuff like that. Let's take a look at last week's some of the top performers, and I think this week's top performer overall, I would probably give to Reinold Navarro, which was probably a little odd considering maybe a little offbeat just because Levi Sterling was named the Florida State League Pitcher of the Month. So you would think that maybe, or of the week, so you would think that maybe, he would get the edge here, but Navarro pitched twice, 7 innings, shutout baseball, 4 hits, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. And the walks is really the big thing for him. The hitters don't get many hits off of him. The ERA is in the low 2s. It's really just, when he's been in trouble, he's been in trouble because he can't throw strikes and he walks hitters. Walked 2 in the first inning. The first outing. It was a 5-inning outing. Didn't walk any on Sunday. He only pitched 2 innings. Struck out 4. But overall, 26 whiffs on 51 swings. So tad over 50% there. His fastball accounted for 19 of those. And I know I say it a lot, so if you're on the website a lot, then like my apologies. But his fastball has to be close in that conversation as being one of the best singular pitches in all of minor league baseball. Lights off Stuff Plus models. It's potentially like a 70 to 80 grade pitch. I guess depending on how much you factor in fastball, like the command to it in your grading system. But upper 90s, gets a lot of carry, flat approach. I guess the only kind of like red mark next to it is he doesn't get a lot of extension on it. The breaking stuff is kind of coming along for him a bit. At least the changeup, so at least gives him another pitch to kind of throw against righties. I don't know how successful the slider is going to be as he moves up the ladder, especially against right-handed hitters. Should be fine against lefties, but that kind of gives him an out to get both side hitters out. Especially that's something you're going to want is a guy who's probably long term fit into the bullpen, but like with his incredible upside, like you're talking, he has the chance to be one of the top 10 ish closer in baseball with that fastball coming from the left side, with the slider that he can throw, and if the changeup keeps coming. But other notable pitchers last week. I'll probably get it any chance I get to talk about Erwin Ramirez. I'm probably gonna take it. He threw 4 innings of no-hit baseball, walked 3, struck out 4. But he's still figuring things out, and I think it'll kind of come. The stuff is incredible. The stuff is lights out. He can touch the upper 90s with the fastball. The sliders flashing plus at times. Even mixed in a little bit of a changeup as well. But 4 of his last 5 starts, he's allowed 0 or 1 hit in it. It hit again. Him, kind of like what we're seeing from Navarro. It's really about how many, if he can control the walks, and the walks have kind of crept back on him. He like towards the end of May, it kind of seemed like things were starting to click with the control, but it's kind of like taken a step back again over the last couple of outings. He's young. He's a big, very physical looking pitcher on the mound. Probably some room left to fill out. Easy delivery. Just one of my favorite arms in the system, and I think hint with the midseason update coming up, you'll kind of see just how high I kind of am on him. Seth Hernandez, top pitching prospect in the system. Top prospect in the system, one of the top pitching prospects in all of baseball. He's had a little bit of a rough go in high A. The fastball command hasn't been great, which fastball's been hit a little bit. I had a chance to go and see him in person last week, and he was good, but you could definitely tell that he struggled a bit with locating the fastball, and when he did, it got hit a little bit. Bounced back against Winston-Salem this past week. 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, 17 whiffs on 79 pitches. It's good for a 21.5% swing and strike rate. When he's near the zone, and he's young, he's got the delivery, he's got he's athletic. I don't worry at all about him consistently throwing strikes. I think that's going to be something that he has no issue doing down the road. Connor Whitgriff. Whitgriff is, I think at this point you're probably talking him as the odds-on favorite, as pitcher, player of the month, all that kind of stuff in the Pirate system. He extended his scoreless streak to 18 innings. He has an 0.39 ERA in the month of June. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts last time against Akron. Just great season so far. Great stretch so far. Got off to a rough start to the season. Finally kind of settled in. Not an overpowering fastball. He's 90, or I see most things say 91, 94 right now. I kind of feel like Whitgriff's the kind of guy that you're gonna blink and 10 years down the line he's a guy that's just gonna keep getting contracts because he can throw strikes. He's left-handed. He can change speeds and throw all these kind of pitches. But maybe he's never gonna have an all-star kind of season. Maybe he'll be a 1.5 win guy the majority of the time. So back of the rotation starter. To put up a 4.5 type ish ERA, but because he can throw strikes and locate and mix pitches and do all that kind of stuff, and that slider and with that arm angle just creates such an uncomfortable at bat for lefties. He's gonna be able to get lefties out. Has a changeup that he can throw to get righties. I just think he has the chance to that you look back 10 years from now, and he's had this a 10-year career in the majors and doesn't put up a lot of fantastic stats, but like he's a guy that teams will constantly want to pick up and because you can rely on him to throw a bunch of innings. Like last year, his first full pro season, he throws 110 plus, close to 120 innings last year. I'm not sure how many, but just like he's just a guy that's going to be eat innings, and I think he'll have a long career. He had 116 total innings last year, so I think there's a chance that he has a nice long career in the majors. A couple other quick hit pitchers before we get to flip to the other side. Jacob Bimby pitched twice, got a save. He has 5 saves now on the season. 3 2/3, 2 hits, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Jaden Woods was a rough couple outings to start in AAA. Last week, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Pietro Albanez, the Pirates signed him out of Brazil. Not the biggest guy. He's listed at 5'9". Kind of seeing him pitch on YouTube. Probably looks like that's not too far from being off. But he could throw strikes. Throws in the mid to upper 80s. Strike thrower, so I feel like he could have a lot of success with the breaking ball. 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, an unrun, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Hiker Garcia, 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 6 innings pitched. He was acquired for Carter Baumler, and Pirates took Baumler in the Rule 5 draft. He was admittedly traded to the Rangers. The Pirates get Garcia. Was a reliever all year last year. Pirates kind of trying him out as a starter. Hasn't really been going too deep into games. But 3-4 innings, does pretty solid, and struck out 6 there. So good outing for him. Bradenton's gotten some pretty good pitching lately. Levi Sterling, like I said, was named the Florida State League Pitcher of the Week. 6 shutout innings, 4 strikeouts, only 2 hits, no walks. That's the big thing for him. On the hitting side, Keiner Delgado had second week in Indianapolis, much better than the first week. He got a hit in all 5 games he played. 3 of them were multi-hit. Had a double, his first home run, stole 2 bases, walked 4 times compared to only 1 strikeout. So far in Delgado, I've mentioned before, he kind of has more power than you would think when you kind of look at his frame. He's running a 42% hard hit rate with 23% whiff rate. So the power, he hits the ball hard. It's still probably going to be below average power, but you look at his frame and you probably kind of figure it's 20 to 30, but I think he get to about a 40 on the power scale. All that power is still on when he's hitting left-handed. So I don't think as much of it translates whenever he's facing left-handed pitching. Might be a platoon guy down the road. If he kind of gets to that scenario, he kind of projects better on the bench. Very versatile. But a nice bounce back. Definitely something to kind of build on going forward with him being in AAA now. Some more hitters. Braylon Brazovan, 7 for 20, a double, 4 RBIs. Also got a hit in all 5 games they played. 3 on Sunday. He was a big bonus signing. When I was down in Florida, I saw him crank a home run at the Braves facility. Hit it 110 off the bat. It was hit so hard, it was smoked so hard that people were still talking about it a couple innings later. Big physical kid. I think there's some power there that he's going to be able to tap into down the road. He's coming with some swing and miss right now. He's still 19. We'll kind of see how that kind of goes. But like I said, Lots of power there, and he can play a good center field as well. Also on the hitting side, Tamar Johnson continues to kind of show signs of life. He went 7 for 23, 304, 407, 435, 3 doubles, 2 stolen bases, 4 walks, and 6 strikeouts. It looks. I want to try to go back to kind of pinpoint it, but like I had written that article about like how he kind of went from like the full on like leg kick to more of like a toe tap, and the toe tap, like, while he was finding success with it, it was limiting a lot of his power, and it looked like he was with it going into this year. He had that little bit of a reset to where he sat for a couple games. I don't know if that's exactly when that change happened, but it does look like he's back to doing a full-on leg kick, and it looks like that potentially maybe he's just trying to tap into more power at this point, which, I mean, it looked, 3 doubles. He's hitting some added home runs since that reset. Kind of get the feeling that he's going to be like potentially maybe like a power over hit profile now. He does have the plate discipline that to kind of help his case with it, but I still think there's going to be a lot of swing and miss in the game here, to where he's probably not going to be a high average hitter. He'll still get the walks, so they'll keep the on base up, and you're kind of just hoping that he's able to slug by digging a little deeper and playing into like the swinging harder and just trying to make harder contact kind of thing. Easton Carmichael, he's a guy that I've talked about multiple times, that I kind of feel like might be ready for a promotion to AA. Catcher thing's kind of weird right now. Altoona still has Berg and Alfonso, so maybe there's not quite the room there yet if you're not ready to push either of those two up to Indianapolis. But Carmichael went 353, 389, 706 last week with a home run and 3 doubles. So 4 of his 6 hits were extra base hits. Tony Blanco had a double, triple, and 2 home runs before he ended up leaving left a game after legging out a triple. He was recently placed on the injured list, so that's unfortunate, seeing as that's kind of been the big thing with him, is staying on the field, and now we gotta wait to see how long he's potentially out. He's already reached like career highs in games played, plate appearances, and home runs and all that, but you kind of just want to see him on the field. Eddie Reinders, I wrote an article about Reinders and kind of like how he's slowly building and building on performance and having really strong June, even if the strikeouts are still kind of high. He went 7 for 14 last week with 2 home runs. Who else? Derek Berg, I mentioned him. A couple doubles, 5 hits. Johan De Los Santos down in the complex. I really think we saw Hyun-Sung Lee get sent back to the complex. I'd really like to see Johan De Los Santos get moved up to Bradenton on a full-time basis. 4 for 11 last week wasn't like maybe the best week. Still hasn't hit a extra base hit, but he scored 6 runs and he's stolen 6 bases. Just kind of feel like at this point would like to see a little bit of a challenge for him. On the top 10 prospect side, Yosinson Garcia went 7 for 23, hit 304, 357, 609 with a double and 2 home runs. Nice little week he's putting together. And I know the Pirates really like Jake Mangum, and I guess you could debate on Jake Mangum all you want, but like I do feel like Garcia is starting to play his way into maybe you wanting to see him a little bit more. I know it's just a matter of where in the lineup you're going to play him, because I mean the Pirates already have one of their outfield prospects up in the majors, who was there the entire week and only got 4 at-bats. So it's kind of hard to see Garcia in a situation to where he's going to get much more than that. So let him stay there. Let him work on the swing decisions and stuff like that. But that's your top performers for the week. Is probably in place of doing a regular morning podcast for Tuesdays. We'll see how this one goes, and I think a lot of places like to do like their own like version of the hot sheet and stuff like that, and I guess this can kind of be the Bucks on Deck version. So if you guys liked it, let me know in the comments. As always, subscribe, Bucks on Deck Substack. You get daily content on the Pirates organization, doing the podcast now, almost pretty much on a daily basis. Took the weekend off this past weekend. Might keep it at a Monday through Friday thing. We'll kind of see how people are reacting and how the views and everything like that goes. But subscribe, Bucks on Deck Substack. Mid-season update will be out later this week. I'm finishing up on the write-ups now. That way, give me a couple times to read through it. So be on the lookout for that. If you're not a paid subscriber, go ahead and upgrade. That way you get full-on access to the update when it releases, plus our player features and video breakdowns. I did a video breakdown at Derek Diamond last week. Probably do one of Connor Woodruff coming up, seeing as he's having a really good month. Check out the YouTube channel. Both of the links will be in the description to this episode. I post videos of the players while I'm on trips, while I'm on site. I'm going to be doing some like long form stuff too, working on another video on that. But plenty of stuff to go around, so plenty worth it. Go and get signed up, and we'll catch you guys next time.